it's been so crazy in the world for the last like 10 days. Ahmaud Arbery,
yeah.
who, just really affected me. I think I was affected before George Floyd by the Ahmaud Arbery story. How has it affected you?
I feel like you kind of hit the nail on the head with that. I'm like, with George Floyd, I think I was more outraged at the fact that I'm like, all right, we're in the midst of, getting this guy settled away for what, I'm sorry, not just that guy, him, the other guy, and the guy decided to follow and video it, to get them on charges for what was essentially a guy out running, and they want to automatically assume because you're in that neighborhood due to break-ins in the neighborhood, this guy out for a jog is now a threat.
Right.
To hunt him down and kill him in that case. So that pretty much affected me in a big way for that point there. But then to have George Floyd after that too, it's like, are we not done? Are we not done? Is this not enough for people to see that? And I feel like in this day and age right now, like people are essentially more shocked by what's going on, only because now we have social media to capture everything, right? So in times before, you could say, oh no, whatever, there was no substantiation to claims of people being unjust towards African Americans or anything like that, or to anyone else for that matter. I'm like, we'll cast the whole umbrella. The injustices within the police system, and in which case, it's now documented. You're now seeing it because people are quick to take their phones out and be like, this is what's going on right now. So I'm like, if there's a silver lining in any of this or whatever, that's that, to where it's like, you know what? We got you on video now doing these things. Try and find a way to talk yourself out of, not being a bigot or something like that.
Right. So have you been tempted at all to go to the protests or do that kind of stuff?
Yes and no, but at the same time, I know myself. So where it's like, all right, hey, Kofi's been a very good boy for a long time. And I was like, I'm not saying I'm a looting person or anything like that. I'm like far from it, but it's like, I know my emotions can run high sometimes. I'm like, if tested, and I know in those cases, I'm like, stay your easily tested butt home right now until you really need to be out somewhere because I'm not ready to get in there, and because I don't know, I might get angry or something, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah. And this is what are you thinking about? You have a young son.
Yeah.
How has this changed being a dad?
For right now, I'm like, because he's so little, I'm like, all right, well, you just play. I'm like, you're not gonna, he doesn't know what's going on with anything. So that's good in its own self. But for like further down the line, it brings up questions of, hey, I'm like, unless we start changing things within this country now, I'm like, I'm gonna have some stern conversations with you of where not to go, how to dress in certain occasions or whatever, and how not to, make yourself seem or whatever. I'm like, things that I'm like, I had to figure out as, an adolescent to an adult. I'm like, all right, well, when I'm in a business setting or whatever, I'm like, I'm not saying act different ways for different things, be yourself, obviously, but tone certain aspects of yourself down for certain things, because I know how it can be perceived. If I'm a person who's like, hey, you've known me for a while, I can be a little eccentric and very like, running around.
Yeah.
Well, you can't always be like that, in which case, because now I can be dealing like, all right, am I the scary guy who's coming in here because I'm talking too loudly or whatever? So I have to second guess all my mannerisms in some cases of how I present myself when I'm out. So that's something I guess I'll have to talk to him about unless things change in this country.
Right. Again, as somebody I think it's been like 15 years I've known you.
Oh, goodness,
I think that it's been like 15 years.
At least, yeah.
And so, that's sort of, because you were such a loving guy and a spontaneous guy, it sort of hurts me to hear that you have to tone parts of yourself down. And so my prayer is that Jackson won't. And I guess our job is to make sure
he doesn't have to.
That he doesn't have to.
I'm like, I want to be, if he wants to be a little freaky guy running around crazy, you be your freaky loud self. Don't tone it down for anybody.
That's right. That's right. So that's my prayer. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Kofi. And
thanks.
You hug your wife and son for me.
I will.
All right.
All right.